Greetings and welcome to Road to Guitar Mastery, the ongoing show where I attempt to master the guitar by breaking it down into its most fundamental pieces. This video is part 3 of my section on arpeggios, so if you haven't already seen the first 2 parts, I would highly recommend it. So today's lesson is how to take the arpeggio shapes from the last episode, which I will be calling the Dreamy arpeggios, and shifting them into a second new set of arpeggios, which I will be calling the serious arpeggios. This will make more sense in a bit, so stay with me. The basic idea here is that by lowering the 7th chord member of the original arpeggio shape to its respective diatonic 6th chord member, you end up creating the 7th chord 2 chords below your starting position. Let me show you what I mean. This page shows the original 5 dominant 7th arpeggio shape from last episode along with the corresponding mode. The mode will tell you which diatonic 6th to lower your 7th to. In this instance, the 6th chord member in Mixolydian is natural, so you simply lower the 7th chord member 1 fret or a half step. When you do this, you create the 7th chord 2 chords lower than the 5th chord, which is the 3 minor 7th chord. The new root becomes the first note on the A string. Now, listen to these 2 arpeggios next to each other, and hopefully you'll hear what I mean by the dreamy versus the serious version. The corresponding mode to the 6th chord is the Aeolian mode, which has a flat 6th, so that means you must lower the existing minor 7th a whole step or 2 frets to the lowered 6th chord member. By doing this, you create the chord 2 chords lower, or the 4 major 7th chord shape. Again, the new root for the serious chord becomes the first note on the A string. Let's listen to these 2 chord changes. Here's the dreamy 7 half diminished 7th chord shape. With a flat 6th from the Locrian mode, we know to lower the existing 7th a whole step to create the serious 5-7 shape. The dreamy 1 major 7th then becomes the serious 6 minor 7th chord. Next, we have the dreamy 2 minor 7th chord shifting into the serious 7 half diminished 7th arpeggio shape. Then we have the 3 minor 7th shifting into the 1 major 7th. The last arpeggio shape is the 4 major 7th shape going into the 2 minor 7th shape. From a theory perspective, this 5-7 chord is changing into the 5-6 chord, and if you look at it from the 3 chord perspective, it becomes like a 3-9, but without a root. By knowing all the arpeggio shapes from the last episode, you can simply make this small change to learn a completely new set of arpeggios. Another great benefit is these new arpeggio shapes utilize the same strumming pattern, so you can easily build off what you already know. Speaking of strumming patterns, I just watched a really cool video the other day that talked about the idea of practicing just the strumming pattern for everything so both hands fully understand what you are playing so your strumming hand doesn't have to constantly reference what your fretting hand is doing. I thought this was an awesome approach, so I myself will start using this in the future. If you want to see this video, I've linked it down below. Also, a worksheet of the dreamy versus serious arpeggios will be available at either my MeWe or Patreon pages, also linked down below. That's all for this episode. Stay tuned and we will continue adding to our growing arpeggio knowledge together. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, everyone.